I am so glad that I found this show on Netflix about a month ago, Weak Hero Class, because man, season 2 has finally got here, and thank God I didn't have to wait that long. I just really fuck with this show heavy. Picking up where we left off with season 1, I'm going to talk about everything going on with this season and where this possibly could go for a third season. But Shiion is back in a brand new school with brand new bullies, new things to discover and go through. And this season really deals with him dealing with the guilt of what happened to Suho and him being in a coma, him just wanting to be left alone. But then we get introduced to some new characters. The first one we get introduced to is Yeoman. He is kind of the first bully that we get introduced to. He's pretty much like a goofball. But what I like about his introduction is he brings a lot of comedic relief during this whole entire season. He really has no loyalty to anybody. He'll switch sides on a dime. But then we get introduced to Jun Tae. He's almost reminiscent of Bum from season 1, just his appearance and him even working with somebody like Yeoman, stealing people's cell phones because there's profit to be made out of that. But once he kind of interacts with Shiion, he starts to kind of be inspired by him and just how he has this kind of demeanor about him. And he tells him about Newton's third law, and he kind of sticks with that, and he starts to kind of stick up for himself. And he can't fight worth a shit, but when it comes down to it, he will come in clutch for his friends. So that's like the first two people we get introduced to that are new. Then through Yeoman, we meet these other two characters, Gotak and Baku. Baku being like pretty much the top dog in this school. Everybody kind of looks to him as the leader, and he has his best friend Gotak with him as well. And it's set up that he was pretty much coming back from his suspension, and he's a really big fan of the anime Slam Dunk. Even goes as far as dyeing his hair and dunking on Yeoman, which was hilarious. Like, the first few episodes of this season is very lighthearted in tone compared to season 1. Then we get introduced to our main antagonist for this season and probably for the foreseeable future, Sung Jin. He pretty much is like this gamer type of guy. He's pretty psychotic. He just likes to get a good fight in. Yeoman works under him, collecting all these phones and whatnot, and you really see how crazy this dude is. But the one guy that's really in charge is this guy named Baek Jin. He runs this huge organization called the Union, where it's all these other heads of these schools that he can control, and they do these illegal operations and steal motorcycles and stuff like that. It's very complicated, but they pretty much do a lot of illegal shit. And what this series really does focus on, more so than Shiion's story and his development, is the beef between Baku and Baek Jin, and Baek Jin wanting to bring in Baku's school into the Union. Also, Baku taught Baek Jin everything he knew, how to fight and everything. And I really like their whole backstory, that they kind of show how their relationship was when they were younger, they were very close, and then there was just kind of this rift where one went one way, the other went the other. And we also see how things are at home for Baku, where his dad is kind of tough on him, you know, but he starts to kind of come around and whatnot. But then, you know, if this all goes back to Shion and him dealing with the guilt he feels about Suho and trying to do something different and have a different aspirations and trying to be more like Suho and thinking like, what would he do? I want to change things for other people like you did for myself. And him struggling to trust people again is interesting. Him kind of having a second chance at making new friends, and he really does do a good job of having a certain energy he brings towards people, whether he's fighting somebody or people just see him fighting and they see how much heart he has. And he is so quick to pull out his handy dandy pen, man. That shit was awesome. Seeing him throw hands with somebody like Sungjin was really fucking dope. That was an interesting kind of dilemma. But then what ends up happening, we see Baku go through some dark times, or at least a dark period where he kind of folds, ends up joining the Union temporarily. While in the background, you have Juntae and Gotek trying to figure out how they can take down the Union by exposing their illegal stuff and whatnot. Bakjin also has to deal with the dude that he is in bed with as far as his boss, and I think he's going to play an interesting character probably in the long term. But you know, this is all leading up to this huge ass brawl between the Union and Shion's people in their school, which was fucking amazing. Even just the cinematography with that, with everybody that has umbrellas, it's raining, and we have this great back and forth between Bakjin and Baku that went on for a good minute, just going hand to hand, and then Baku ends up getting dropped, so it's looking like he is the winner. And the whole deal was, you know, whoever wins, winner takes all, pretty much. And Shion's able to get there in time. And this dude, Bakjin, is a fucking beast, though, man, because not only does he win fair and square against Baku, he is handicapped, still whooping this dude's ass. But Shion's not giving up. He's wailing on his legs, and this is all a plan to kind of break him down for Baku to kind of get back in there and land the finishing blows. So then they end up winning at the end of this season. On top of that, Suho ends up waking up. That damn near brought a tear to my eyes, because it's like, man, the homie's back, and he sees that Shion has all these friends, and now Sungjin is now like the head of the Union, which is going to be interesting, while Bakjin ends up dead by the end of this, because old boy that was his boss kept his word. He said, next time you fuck up, you out of here. So that's going to be interesting. A lot of interesting themes in here. I really like them bringing Bomb back, where you had a scene of Shion getting hit by a truck, knocks him unconscious for a while, and he has this kind of inner monologue thing kind of going on between him and Bomb, and kind of leaving Bomb in the past to look towards the future with his friends and everything else, and him just wanting to be a better person and want to help people. But don't get that fucked up, because Shion will still go at you using brass knuckles, using his trusty pen, anything to win a fight. And he's definitely improved from season 1 and shown a lot of growth. Now that he has this group with him, it's going to be interesting to see how these characters play out and what's going to be next for everybody. But I really enjoyed this season. I thought it was really dope. Not as grim as season 1. Definitely has some sad moments. Overall, everything improved though. We're seeing these characters develop. The fight choreography is on point. It's even getting better and better. And I can't wait to see what they do with a season 3. But let me know your thoughts in the comments below about season 2. How do you like this compared to season 1? Was this disappointing to you? Did it live up to your expectations? Because to me, I feel like that season 2 finale definitely rivals something like Cobra Kai season 2. I just love everything about this show. But till next time, I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.